YouTube and welcome back to my channel this evening. Tonight's video is going to be my weekly makeup basket and I'm really excited to show you some products that I've never featured in a weekly makeup basket before. So let's just jump in and get started. So of course I'm going to start off with primer, and this is the Givenchy Mr. Matte Mattifying Primer. It looks like this, and I know I did use this last week as well. But with Christmas being on Thursday and having a short work week, I plan on spending a ton of time with friends and family, and I want my makeup to last on my face. So I have to use a mattifying primer instead of a pore filling primer, or else my makeup will just dissipate, usually like even before lunchtime. And then for foundation, you've already guessed it, I'm going to be mixing the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC41 and NC15. They look like this, and this is my Holy Grail foundation. It is my foolproof go-to. I don't even have to think twice to know that this is going to last all day. It's just gonna look perfect. It does such a great job at, leaving my face as a blank canvas, and there's just barely any imperfections that show through this. It's definitely a medium coverage, and you can even build it up to be full. It is a little tiny bit on the thicker side, but that doesn't bother me at all because I'm very used to wearing a full face of makeup to include a foundation. So I don't necessarily think it sits heavy on my face, and I just love the way this stuff looks. For concealer, I chose the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Medium 1 Custard. It looks like this, and it just has a doe foot applicator. And I absolutely adore this. I was going to say foundation, this concealer. I think it does a fantastic job at covering dark under eye circles, and at the same time, I do think it does a little tiny bit of brightening as well. So if you haven't checked out the Radiant Creamy Concealer, I would definitely suggest at least swatching it or trying it out next time you're at the NARS counter or Sephora. I did have a hard time taking the plunge for a $29 concealer because of the fact that I use concealer every day and they don't last very long. And then the other highlighting pen that I'm going to be layering on top is the L'Oreal Paris Magic Lumi Highlighting Pen in the shade 862 Light. And it just has a brush tip applicator. And speaking of products not lasting very long, it's at where the top of my nail is. And I've only been using this product for less than 2 weeks. So I am slightly disappointed in the fact that this was, I believe, $12.99 at CVS. I know you can find it at a more affordable price at Target or Walmart, but in my opinion, at the current moment, I'd much rather just pay the $26 and get the MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pen in Light Boost, because I feel like even that one lasts a lot longer than this one did. And then to set my under eye concealer, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder in the shade number 1. It's just a loose setting powder, and I actually just recently got this in a swap that I did here with Faithers K on YouTube. We didn't film any type of unboxing because it was just a really small little makeup swap. She was downsizing a ton of products in her professional kit, and she was doing kind of like a blog sale. So instead of me paying for the products, she was interested in a couple products, so I just went out and picked up a couple products and mailed them to her kind of as like a swap. So I don't have any video, but I really like this. I tried it out for the first time this morning, and I think it did such a great job at setting my under eye concealer. Now, I do want to mention the fact that I don't have any problems with concealers creasing, but I like to set my under eye concealer just because I just don't want my concealer to move on my face. And then to set all of my foundation and my concealer as well, I'm going to be using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Dark. It looks like this. And I tend to reach for this product a lot during the summertime when I'm not using as much foundation, and I'm usually sometimes using a BB cream. I will set it with this because this is definitely less coverage than the MAC Studio Fix Press Powder that I normally use, but I wanted a more bronzy glow to my skin this week since I'm going to be around friends and family, and I decided I'm just going to use this because I've been using a lot of translucent setting powders, and I just wanted a more warmer look to my complexion. And then for my eye base, you guys know that this is the little tiny eye primer that just keeps going and going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny, and as you can tell, there's barely any left. So I'd like to be safe and say that I'm only going to have this for 2 more weeks, but possibly only 1 more week depending on how much of the product is left that goes down in this area. And then for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my MAC quad that I put together. Can you guess which shadow I use the most often out of all 4 of these? And then I'm also going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Catwalk palette. And the shadows just look like this. As you can tell, most of them are in the purple family, and you guys know how much I love wearing purple on my eyes and my lips, so I thought this would be great. And just with Christmas, and then I have the day after Christmas off as well, and I plan on spending that with my friends and family. My father's actually flying in Christmas morning from Las Vegas, so I just want to have a good amount of different eyeshadows to work with, and I figure I'd be on the safe side if I picked purples, because I usually tend to wear purples at least like 2 or 3 times throughout the week. And then for eyeliner, I chose the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. It looks like this, and this is a brush tip applicator. I absolutely 100% prefer brush tips over felt tips, because felt tips tug at the corner of my eye, and also I feel that felt tips skip a little bit more than the brush tips. So even if I do use a felt tip, because I do own a lot of felt tip eyeliners like the Jordana Fabuliner, I will use the felt tip to do my eyeliner all the way to the very end of my eye, and then to do my wing I always use a brush tip, because it just is the perfect little wing mechanism. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Hello Lashes mascara again this week. This stuff is phenomenal. It's what I have on my eyes right now, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it gives so much length, and I used 3 coats of this and it didn't clump up at all whatsoever in between coats. So this is what the wand and the brush head look like. It's very similar in all aspects to the Benefit They're Real. It's very similar with the brush with the little ball at the end and the plastic bristles, and the fact that they're very closely packed together. The formulation is extremely similar. It gives a very similar result on my eyelashes. They're very long, they're not very voluminous, and they're not super full, but they're very long and they don't clump at all. So they look just really elegant. And then I'm also going to be using the Lancome Hypnose Drama mascara, and that one looks like this. Has a kind of like an S curve shaped wand, and I really like Lancome mascaras as well, and I definitely like to have more than one mascara because I tend to layer my mascaras on a regular basis. And then for highlighter, I chose my all-time favorite highlighter because it is Christmas this week, and it is the Korres Magic Light Powder Trio in the shade Santorini, and this is what the packaging looks like, and this is what the highlighter looks like. This one right here, and this is such a perfect shade in my opinion. It's the perfect balance between a champagne and then a silver. It's not too warm and it's not too frosty. It just is the most perfect highlighting shade to just highlight right here on your cheekbones without it being very like noticeable. It's the perfect like shimmery, glistening highlighting effect. There we go. And then for blush, I don't know if this is technically cheating, but I'm not quite sure what type of look I'm going for on Christmas. So I wanted to have a variety, but I didn't want to not include any blush at all. So I decided, what if I just narrow down my variety? And I said, why not just choose my MAC palette instead? And this is what it looks like. I actually got these two blushes right here from Faith as well. She downsized these from her professional kit, and they're both MAC shadow, MAC blushes. So I thought this would be the perfect palette to choose, so that way I don't have like I don't even know how many blushes I own. I don't have to choose between all of them. I can just choose between these 6, and I already know that these 4 that I've already owned, I absolutely love. And this one I tried out today and I really like it, and this one is more like of a true peach shade, and I'm sure I'll like that one as well. And then for bronzer, I chose the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer in medium deep. This is just a smaller size, and this is what it looks like, and it smells like hot chocolate. And I've actually gotten to the point where I'm pretty good at using this shade to contour with without being like very drastic with my contour. For a while, I was definitely applying a bit too much, I believe, and my contour was very, very defined, and it was probably a bit too much. But I've gotten the hang of this shade. It is very deep for a bronzer, considering that this bronzer is hyped here on YouTube a ton, and I am not very light. Well, at the current moment I am, but during the summertime, I can get anywhere between like an NC40 to an NC42, and like right now I'm an NC25, and I have a hard time using this without applying too much. So, and I feel like the majority of people here on YouTube are not like NC42s, so maybe I was just not understanding that you have to have a light hand with this product. And I just realized I didn't even mention my brow product because it kind of snuck in right next to this bronzer instead of up by the eye products, but I'm sure you already guessed this as well. I'm going to be using my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Auburn. It just looks like this, and I've been using this so much lately. I think at this point it is safe to say that this is my all-time favorite eyebrow product to use. And it pushed my European Wax Center eyebrow powder to the side to second place, but it's still okay because I really do enjoy using both of them. It's just that this one I've finally, I guess, kind of mastered using it. I think my eyebrows have been coming out really nice lately, and it's all thanks to this product. It just does a great job at filling in my eyebrows without making them look too, I don't want to say like false, but too artificial, like, I suppose. I don't know if I'm describing that the right way, but I definitely want to say that I don't think that they look natural right now. Like, you can definitely tell that they are filled in, but at the same time, I think it does such a great job at like filling in my eyebrows and framing my face. And then to set everything, of course, I'm going to be using the NYX Matte Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray, which looks like this. And I think I probably have a little bit more than a third of the bottle left. And I was saying this last week, I believe, that I wasn't positive if this actually worked. And then I was like, I think it did. I think it does. But now that I think about it, and like using it last week and having my skin go back from combination to just regular oily again, I think it was just a change in my skin that was making my skin less oily versus the actual setting spray. Because even using this, I tend to get oily around like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and even on days when I don't use it, that's around the same time I get oily as well. So this probably does work better on people who aren't as oily as I am, but I definitely do miss my Urban Decay De-Slick. I think that works a lot better than this one, but this one still works like pretty decent. It's just I have a really, really oily skin. And that is it for all of my products. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You guys know I'm not forcing you to, but I really appreciate everyone who does. And thank you so much for all of the comments and all of the support and all of the nice things that you guys say, because it does mean a lot to me. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, be all dramatic and be like, it means so much, and like, you know, I love all you guys, but I honestly do. I think you guys are awesome. I love commenting back. I know I'm not the best at commenting back right away, but working and then taking care of Olivia and, you know, filming sometimes, especially around the holidays, it does get a bit stressful. So sometimes I just have to step away from YouTube for a little while, but I am always thinking about you guys. I always read your comments. I think they are so sweet and so sincere, and I'm just really glad that last year, at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I did finally find it in me to start YouTube, because it's been such a great experience and you guys are awesome. And I also just want to mention what is on my lips, because I never remember to mention it in the videos and people always ask me. This is MAC's Candy Yum Yum, and this is one of my all-time favorite lipsticks. And the reason why I wore this, and don't worry, I actually was wearing purple earlier this afternoon, but I got this graphic tank at the mall today and I wanted to try it on, and I figured why not just wear it in the video. I absolutely love this graphic tank because you guys know my obsession with eyebrows. So of course a graphic tank that had eyes and eyebrows on it, why would I not like? So it looks like this. And then it says, real eyes, real eyes, real eyes, which I thought was a really neat saying. So, and it's got eyebrows on it. Like, how could I not like it? So that is it for now. I hope you guys have a great holiday season and Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas. I will try to upload a video maybe Wednesday or even Christmas. I don't know my definite uploading schedule yet. And that is it from me. I just thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And I have to go eat dinner because it is 10:42 and I still haven't eaten dinner yet. So I gotta go eat because I'm starving. Talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.